Here is a hidden law about money that only a few truly understand. It's not taught in schools, not written in business books, and yet it has the power to change your finances overnight. When you live by this law, opportunities seem to appear out of thin air, debts melt away, and money flows to you as naturally as the tide returns to the shore. Today, you're going to discover it, and once you do, you'll never see money the same way again. Money responds to your words as faithfully as seeds respond to soil. Every word you speak is a seed you plant in the garden of your life. Just as a seed, once placed in fertile soil, begins its unseen work beneath the surface, your words immediately begin shaping the unseen currents of your reality. When you speak words of abundance, they take root in the invisible field of supply and start drawing to you the resources, opportunities, and channels that will manifest prosperity. The process is natural, automatic, and unfailing, just as a seed naturally reaches for the light. The soil never questions the seed you plant. If you place a seed of wheat, you will not reap thorns. If you plant roses, you will not harvest weeds. Likewise, the spiritual law governing money does not question the nature of your words. It simply returns to you what you have spoken with feeling and conviction. Words of wealth bring forth wealth. Words of lack bring forth lack. The universe is impartial. It mirrors the essence of your speech without judgment. When you speak, your voice carries a vibration that goes beyond mere sound. It carries belief. If your words are charged with faith, they are like seeds planted in rich, watered ground. They germinate quickly and bring forth an abundant harvest. But if your words are tainted with doubt or fear, they are like seeds scattered on barren soil, unable to produce a healthy yield. You cannot plant one seed of abundance today and uproot it with 5 seeds of worry tomorrow and expect a flourishing harvest. Guard your tongue as you would guard your most precious treasure. If a gardener wishes to see a beautiful field, he takes care not to scatter weeds among his flowers. Likewise, take care not to plant careless words about money. Saying, "I can't afford this," or "money is so hard to come by," is like casting weeds into your own field. These weeds choke the life from your good seeds and delay the harvest. Instead, let your speech be filled with declarations of supply. I always have more than enough. Money comes to me in perfect ways. My income grows continually. The farmer knows the seed needs time. He does not dig it up each day to check if it is growing. He waters it, trusts the process, and lets nature do its work. In the same way, once you have spoken words of prosperity, do not keep questioning when or how the supply will arrive. That is digging up your seed. Your task is to keep the soil fertile with gratitude, faith, and expectation, allowing your words to do their quiet work beneath the surface until the time of harvest comes. Every conversation you have is a planting. Every affirmation you repeat is another seed. Every blessing you speak over your finances is another row in your garden. The more consistently you plant good seeds, the richer your harvest will be. If you wish to change your financial condition, begin not with action, but with speech. Let your lips declare the abundance you wish to see. Keep your words in harmony with the life you desire. Even a small seed can produce a great tree. One phrase of faith spoken with full conviction can set in motion forces that bring wealth from unexpected places. Do not underestimate the power of a single declaration. If you persist in planting seeds of prosperity, they will multiply in ways far beyond what your mind can calculate. The soil does not resist, it receives and produces. Likewise, the invisible law governing money does not withhold, it responds and delivers. Speak abundance as if it already belongs to you. The language you use shapes the reality you experience. When you speak as though abundance is already yours, you claim your place in the flow of prosperity. You step out of the realm of wishing and into the realm of having. This shift in speech carries a power that cannot be overstated, for words spoken in the present tense of possession carry the energy of completion, not the energy of longing. When you say, I will have abundance someday, you place it in the future, always just out of reach. The future never arrives in the present moment, so you keep your good at a distance. But when you declare, I have abundance now, you bring it into the now, the only place where creation happens. The law of manifestation works in the present, not in the promise of tomorrow. To speak abundance as if it already belongs to you is to align your words with the law of supply, drawing to you the conditions, people, and opportunities that match your declaration. The mind responds to your words as a servant obeys a command. If you speak in the language of possession, your mind begins to act as though you already have what you desire. It takes your statement as truth and begins arranging your thoughts, emotions, and actions to match that reality. This inner shift changes your posture, your decisions, and your openness to receive. You are no longer a seeker looking for supply. You are the owner of an estate that is already in your possession. Think of a person who walks with confidence because they know they have wealth in their account. They speak with assurance. They do not shrink back in fear, and they make decisions from a place of plenty. You can carry that same assurance before the evidence appears, for in the spiritual realm, your supply exists the moment you declare it. Speaking as though it already belongs to you bridges the gap between the unseen and the seen. Your words are not a request, they are a claim. When you speak abundance as a present reality, you are not begging for it to arrive, you are affirming its presence. This affirmation sends a clear signal into the invisible realm, and that signal draws matching conditions into your life. Opportunities that once passed you by now notice you. People who can bless your path are drawn toward you. Situations that seemed locked suddenly open. All of this begins with a shift in how you speak. It is not enough to think abundance. You must speak it. Words carry vibration, and that vibration imprints itself on your surroundings. When you speak from the state of having, you fill your environment with the energy of completion. You change the atmosphere around you, and in doing so, you change the results that come to you. This is why it is vital to train your tongue to speak only in the language of abundance. Even in moments when your outer circumstances suggest lack, keep your speech rooted in the reality you wish to experience. If your pockets are empty, do not give them the final word. Let your lips declare, I live in a state of plenty. If your income seems low, refuse to agree with the appearance. Say instead, my supply is unlimited, and it flows to me freely. The moment you agree with lack, you give it power. The moment you agree with abundance, you give it the right to manifest. Speaking abundance as if it already belongs to you is not pretending, it is proclaiming the truth of a higher reality. You are aligning your words with the eternal law that supply already exists for every need. By speaking in this way, you step into the vibration of having, and the outer world has no choice but to catch up with the inner decree. Every debt is a shadow. Dissolve it with light-filled words. Debt is not a permanent reality. It is only a shadow cast by a belief in lack. A shadow has no substance of its own. It appears because something stands between you and the light of truth. When you shift your focus from the debt itself to the presence of supply, you remove the object that casts the shadow, and the shadow disappears. The most powerful way to lift this shadow is through words filled with light, words that carry the vibration of freedom, sufficiency, and divine provision. When you speak about debt with fear, you give it weight and form. You make the shadow seem solid. You allow it to stretch across your path and block your view of possibility. But when you speak words of abundance, you invite light into the situation, and light dissolves shadows instantly. You may not see the full change in your outer world immediately, but the moment you speak with faith, the change has already begun in the unseen realm. Every word you speak is either adding to the shadow or inviting the light. Statements like, I will never get out of this, or my debt is too big, reinforce the darkness and cause the shadow to grow larger. But when you say, I am free from every obligation, or The channels of supply open to me now. You flood the situation with light. These are not empty words. They are seeds of truth that carry the power to rearrange circumstances. It is not the amount of debt that matters. It is the amount of light you are willing to bring to it. Even the largest shadow disappears under the smallest flame, and your words can be that flame. When you speak blessings over your finances, you are not ignoring the debt. You are refusing to feed it with fear. You are choosing to recognize a higher source of provision that exists beyond your current numbers. Do not make debt the center of your speech. Speak of freedom instead. Speak of increase. Speak of unexpected supply and divine timing. The more you talk about debt, the more real it becomes in your experience. The more you talk about supply, the more room you give for that supply to manifest. This is the law. Whatever you give your words to, you give life to. When you receive a bill, bless it. Say, I am grateful that this is easily paid in full. When you think about your obligations, declare, every debt is cleared in perfect order. Do not fall into the trap of repeating the amount you owe as if it were your identity. Your true identity is not a debtor. It is an heir to unlimited supply. Let your words affirm who you are in truth, not what appearances suggest. Light-filled words carry an energy that transforms not only your finances, but also your inner state. As you speak them, you begin to feel lighter. You shift from anxiety to assurance, from burden to release. This shift in feeling is essential, for it is the feeling behind the words that calls forth the matching reality. When your words are filled with light, your heart begins to believe them, and belief is the key that unlocks every door. Every time you replace a statement of fear with a statement of faith, you turn your face toward the light. Each declaration chips away at the shadow until it can no longer hold its form. Eventually, you will find that the shadow has vanished, not because you fought it, but because you outshone it. Your words are the rays that pierce the darkness. Speak them consistently, speak them boldly, and the light will do the rest. Fear of loss locks the doors to gain. Fear is a gatekeeper, and when it stands guard at the door of your life, nothing good can enter. The fear of loss is one of the most powerful barriers to abundance, for it creates an atmosphere of tension, mistrust, and resistance. When you hold tightly to what you have out of fear that it will slip away, you unknowingly block the flow of more. In the spiritual law of supply, fear is a signal that you are trusting appearances more than the unseen source that sustains you. Fear of loss operates like a clenched fist. Nothing can be taken from it, but nothing can be placed in it either. You may believe you are protecting yourself by holding on, but in truth, you are shutting yourself off from the very increase you desire. Gain requires openness. It requires the willingness to release, knowing that what leaves is only making room for something greater to arrive. Fear of loss is a form of worshiping limitation. It says, "My good is scarce, and if I lose it, it may never return." But the truth is that your supply comes from an infinite source that cannot be exhausted. This source flows through countless channels, not just the ones you can see. When you remember this, you loosen your grip, and the door to gain swings wide open. One of the fastest ways to dissolve the fear of loss is through words of trust and assurance. Declare, "What is mine by divine right can never be taken from me." Say, "I live in a universe of endless increase." These statements shift your focus from what you might lose to the abundance that constantly surrounds you. They remind you that no loss is permanent, and every door that closes makes space for a better one to open. Generosity is another antidote to the fear of loss. When you give freely, you are telling your mind and the universe, I am not afraid, I live in plenty. Even a small act of giving can break the hold of fear and set the law of circulation in motion. Money, like water, must flow to remain fresh. If you dam it up with fear, it stagnates. If you release it with trust, it returns to you in greater measure. Fear of loss also thrives in the habit of counting only what has been spent rather than what is on its way. Keep your mental eyes on the incoming, not the outgoing. Train yourself to look for signs of gain, unexpected opportunities, new ideas, sudden solutions. Each time you notice these, your faith grows stronger and the grip of fear loosens. Remember that fear and faith cannot occupy the same space. One must give way to the other. If you feed fear with your attention, it will lock every door. But if you feed faith with your words and actions, those same doors will swing wide, and you will find yourself standing in a flow of blessings you could not have imagined. The fear of loss is an illusion. The abundance of gain is the truth. Your choice is to decide which one you will believe, and your belief will determine what enters your life. Gratitude multiplies whatever you already have. Gratitude is the golden key that unlocks increase. Whatever you are thankful for begins to grow, for gratitude is a signal to the universe that you recognize and honor the good that already exists in your life. When you express sincere thanks for what you have, you are in harmony with the law of abundance, and that harmony draws more of the same into your experience. It is easy to overlook what is already present when you are longing for more. The mind tends to dwell on what is missing, yet the law responds most quickly to the energy of appreciation. When you shift your focus to the blessings that are already in your hands, no matter how small they may seem, you water them with the attention of gratitude, and like well-tended seeds, they begin to multiply. Gratitude changes your inner state. It lifts you from discontent to joy, from tension to peace. When your heart is open in appreciation, you are a magnet for good things. You begin to notice opportunities that were invisible to you before. The flow of ideas, connections, and resources becomes natural because gratitude places you in a receptive state. The universe is generous, and it pours more into vessels that are already overflowing with thanks. The law of gratitude does not require perfect conditions before it works. In fact, it is most powerful when you give thanks in the midst of limitation. To bless the little you have is to declare, I trust the source of all supply, and I know that more is on the way. This declaration breaks the grip of lack and invites increase. When you say, thank you for this, you are affirming that it is good, and all that is good seeks to grow. Make gratitude a daily practice, not a passing thought. Begin your day by naming the things you are thankful for: health, relationships, opportunities, even the lessons learned through challenges. Speak your thanks out loud. Words of gratitude carry a vibration that strengthens your connection to the supply line of the universe. When spoken sincerely, they rise like incense, drawing to you the fragrance of more blessings. Gratitude also has the power to transform what seems undesirable. When you choose to be thankful, even for difficulties, you open the way for them to reveal their hidden gifts. Often, what appears as an obstacle carries the seed of a breakthrough, and it is gratitude that allows you to receive it. Saying, I am thankful for this, is not resignation. It is an act of mastery over circumstance. To multiply your good, combine gratitude with expectancy. Give thanks for what you have now, and give thanks in advance for what is on its way. I am grateful for my current supply, and I am grateful for the greater supply that is unfolding, is a statement that joins the energy of appreciation with the energy of faith. This combination is irresistible to the law of increase. Even the smallest blessing responds to gratitude. If you find a single coin on the ground, pick it up and say, thank you for the abundance this represents. In doing so, you treat the coin as a seed of wealth, And every seed, when blessed, has the potential to bear fruit far beyond its size. The law makes no distinction between small and large. It only responds to the quality of your recognition. When gratitude becomes your constant attitude, lack cannot remain. Your life will naturally begin to mirror the richness you acknowledge. The more you notice the good, the more good there will be to notice, until your days are filled with a continuous stream of blessings, each one multiplied by the thanks you give. Visualize your wealth as a completed fact. Creation begins in the unseen before it appears in the seen. Every structure, every invention, every work of art existed first in the mind of its creator as a completed image. The same law applies to your wealth. To draw abundance into your life, you must first see it with the inner eye as though it already exists. This is not idle daydreaming, it is deliberate, disciplined visioning. You are impressing the substance of your desire upon the creative law that governs supply. When you visualize your wealth as a completed fact, you are telling the universe, "This is who I am, this is what belongs to me, and I live in it now." The mind does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is physically present. It accepts the image as truth and begins to shape your thoughts, feelings, and actions to align with it. Your outer life adjusts itself to match the inner picture you hold most consistently. See your wealth in detail. Do not picture it as something far off in the distance, but as something you are living in this moment. Imagine yourself handling the abundance, enjoying it, using it for good. See the numbers you desire in your accounts. See the opportunities flowing to you. See yourself meeting every obligation with ease. Add to this image the feelings of joy, security, and freedom that such wealth brings. Let the emotion of it fill your whole being until the vision feels more real than your current conditions. The power of visualization lies in its ability to bypass limitation. Your current circumstances may suggest lack, but your inner vision can move far beyond appearances. When you consistently hold the image of wealth, you are watering the seed of abundance within. You are telling the law of supply to organize circumstances, ideas, and people in a way that brings your vision into tangible form. Do not waver between images of wealth and images of lack. Just as a gardener would not plant seeds and then dig them up the next day to see if they are growing, you must keep your inner picture intact without interference from doubt. Hold your vision steady even when outer conditions seem unchanged. The unseen process is already at work, and your consistent focus keeps it moving toward manifestation. Visualization is most effective when combined with belief. You must not only see it, you must accept it as inevitable. Say to yourself, "This is already mine, and nothing can take it from me." This certainty sends a strong signal into the creative substance of the universe, and that signal draws to you the matching reality. Practice visualization daily. Close your eyes for a few minutes each morning and night and step fully into the life you desire as if you are already there. Walk through it in your mind. Touch it, smell it, hear it, feel it. The more senses you involve, the more real it becomes to your subconscious mind, and the faster it will take root in your outer world. Your imagination is the workshop of creation. When you fill it with images of completed wealth, you become a magnet for opportunities that match your vision. People and circumstances you never expected will align with you because the law always responds to the dominant image you hold. See it now, live it inwardly, and the outer form must follow. Refuse to speak of lack, even in jest. Every word you speak plants a seed, and the soil of the universe does not know the difference between a seed planted in seriousness and one planted in jest. If you speak of lack, poverty, or limitation, even in play, you are sowing seeds that can grow into experiences you do not want. The law of words is impartial. It does not separate humor from intention. It simply takes the vibration of your words and begins to bring them into form. Many people weaken their own prosperity by careless speech. They joke about being broke, complain about prices, or repeat phrases that diminish their sense of abundance. Even when such words are meant lightly, they carry the energy of lack, and that energy draws matching experiences. You cannot speak against your own good, even playfully, without affecting the garden of your life. Refusing to speak of lack is an act of discipline. It means training your tongue to only affirm what you wish to experience. It requires you to become aware of the subtle ways in which lack tries to sneak into your conversations through sarcasm, exaggeration, or shared complaints with others. These moments may seem harmless, but each one is an opportunity to either reinforce abundance or reinforce limitation. When you speak of lack, you are agreeing with it. Every agreement you make with lack, no matter how small, strengthens its hold. But when you refuse to give it voice, you deny it the energy it needs to grow. Silence toward lack is a form of resistance. It cuts off its supply of attention. And when you replace that silence with affirmations of abundance, you flood your life with the energy of plenty. Be mindful of the phrases you repeat out of habit. Statements like, "I can't afford that," "money doesn't grow on trees," or "that's too expensive" may feel like common expressions, but they shape the way you see the world. Each time you say them, you affirm a belief in scarcity. Replace them with words that affirm your connection to unlimited supply. "I choose to use my money wisely." "Opportunities for increase are everywhere." "I always have more than enough." This refusal to speak of lack extends beyond money into every area of life. Do not speak of shortage in health, love, opportunities, or time. Speak of strength, of connection, of open doors, of perfect timing. Your words are the containers that hold your reality. Make them large enough to hold the abundance you desire. When you are with others who speak of lack, you do not need to argue or correct them. Simply choose not to join in. You can redirect the conversation toward what is possible, what is working, and what is good. In doing so, you protect your own atmosphere from being clouded by the energy of limitation. Your refusal to speak lack, even in jest, is not about ignoring reality. It is about shaping reality. You are choosing to give life only to what you want to see multiplied. Just as you would not water weeds in your garden, you do not water the weeds of poverty thinking with careless words. In time, this discipline becomes second nature. You will find yourself naturally avoiding language that diminishes you, and your speech will become a steady stream of affirmation, blessing, and expectancy. And as surely as the earth brings forth the seeds planted in it, your life will bring forth the abundance you have consistently spoken into being. Expect the supply to come through unexpected channels. The universe has countless ways to deliver the good that belongs to you. It is not bound to one path, one person, or one source. When you expect supply to come only through familiar channels, you limit the flow and place conditions on how your blessings can arrive. But when you open yourself to the unexpected, you step into the vastness of infinite possibility. Often people tie their sense of supply to a single avenue, a job, a client, a sale, an investment. They believe their abundance depends solely on that channel, and if it seems to dry up, they panic. Yet these channels are only instruments, not the source itself. The true source is unseen, unlimited, and creative beyond your imagination. When one avenue closes, it simply means that another, often greater, is being prepared. Expectation is a magnet. When you expect good to arrive, you draw it toward you. When you expect it to come through unexpected channels, you allow the universe to surprise you. This expectation must be active, alive, and filled with faith. You look for signs of increase in every direction, knowing that your supply could appear at any moment and from any place. An unexpected channel could be a casual conversation that leads to an opportunity, a sudden idea that turns into profit, an introduction to someone with the exact solution you need, or a gift that arrives without warning. These experiences are common when you stop limiting how the supply should reach you. Your role is not to decide the how, but to keep the door open in every direction. The habit of expectation transforms your inner state. Instead of worrying about how your needs will be met, you live in a posture of readiness. You are like a guest waiting for a banquet to be served, confident it is coming, even if you cannot see the kitchen. This readiness sharpens your awareness, making you more likely to notice opportunities that others might overlook. To cultivate this mindset, speak words that affirm your openness to the unexpected. Say, "The channels of supply are unlimited, and my good comes to me in perfect ways." Say, "I welcome the unexpected, for it is often greater than I could imagine." Such declarations free you from the rigidity of believing your abundance must arrive through one fixed path. When supply arrives in an unexpected way, receive it without suspicion. Some people miss their blessing because it does not arrive in the package they imagined. A gift may come disguised as extra work, a small opportunity, or an introduction to someone new. Accept these with gratitude, for they are often the first steps toward larger manifestations. Remember that the law of supply is precise but not predictable in form. Your vision and your faith set the destination, but the route is chosen by a wisdom far greater than yours. This is why trust is essential. You may not see the path ahead, but you can be certain it exists, and often the path that appears unexpectedly is the fastest and most direct route to your goal. Live each day with the quiet excitement of knowing that your good could arrive from anywhere. Look beyond the expected places. See every interaction, every idea, every encounter as a potential channel. Keep your heart open, your words positive, and your faith unshakable, and you will find that the unexpected becomes a familiar friend, bringing blessings that exceed your highest expectations. Every purchase is a seed you plant. Bless it. Every time you spend money, you are planting a seed in the garden of your financial life. Each purchase carries energy, and the spirit with which you release that money determines the kind of harvest it will bring. When you buy something with resentment, fear, or worry, you plant a seed of lack. But when you make a purchase with joy, gratitude, and blessing, you plant a seed of increase. Money is not simply a tool of exchange, it is a carrier of intention. When it leaves your hands, it does not vanish. It goes into circulation, touching lives, creating opportunities, and eventually returning to you multiplied. The way you release it influences the way it will return. If you bless your purchases, you infuse them with the vibration of abundance, and that vibration draws more abundance back to you. Even the smallest expense is an opportunity to affirm your connection to unlimited supply. Whether you are buying food, paying a bill, or investing in something larger, pause for a moment and bless the transaction. You might say, "This money returns to me multiplied," or "I am grateful for the good this brings to me and to others." These words shift your energy from loss to expansion, from depletion to increase. Think of the farmer planting seeds. He does not mourn the grain he releases into the soil, he rejoices in the harvest it will produce. In the same way, each dollar you spend is a seed with the potential to bring forth more. If you release it with reluctance, you choke its growth. If you release it with blessing, you nourish it. Many people unconsciously curse their purchases by complaining about prices, feeling anxious after spending, or saying things like, "I can't believe how much this cost." Such words are like weeds in the garden, strangling the seeds before they have a chance to grow. Replace these habits with gratitude. Say instead, "I am thankful I can pay for this easily," or "I am blessed to have the means to enjoy this." These statements keep your financial soil fertile. Blessing every purchase also shifts your relationship with money. Instead of seeing it as something that leaves you, you begin to see it as something that moves through you in an endless cycle of giving and receiving. Money is meant to circulate, and circulation is the proof of life. When you hold on too tightly out of fear, the flow slows down. When you let it move with joy and blessing, the flow strengthens. This practice also elevates your awareness of the good your spending creates. The money you pay for a meal blesses the hands that prepared it, the farmers who grew the ingredients, and the workers who serve it. The bill you pay for electricity blesses the people who maintain the power lines and keep the lights on in your home. When you see each purchase as part of a greater chain of blessing, you send your money out with love, and love always returns multiplied. The more you bless your spending, the more you will notice that money begins to come back to you from unexpected places. Refunds, gifts, discounts, and new sources of income often appear because the energy you sent out is returning in kind. You cannot send out blessing without attracting blessing back to yourself. Let every purchase be an act of faith, a declaration that your supply is abundant and unending. Treat each transaction as a moment to affirm, I give freely, I receive freely, and my harvest is sure. When you do, you will find that your financial garden grows richer with every seed you plant. Your thoughts are silent decrees to the universe. Bless them. Every thought you hold is a command sent into the unseen, a silent decree that shapes the conditions of your life. The universe listens not only to your words, but to the vibration of your inner thinking. Long before your desires take form in the physical, they are formed in the quiet workshop of your mind. What you continually think about, you give permission to exist in your world. Thoughts are living seeds. They carry energy, intention, and creative power. Whether you speak them aloud or not, they are constantly sowing the future. A thought of abundance begins building a pathway for prosperity to reach you. A thought of lack begins preparing the soil for limitation. The law is impartial. It simply reflects the nature of the thoughts you dwell upon. Blessing your thoughts means choosing them deliberately and infusing them with the energy you want to experience. When a thought of fear or doubt arises, do not let it take root. Replace it with a thought of faith and sufficiency. If you catch yourself thinking, I can't afford that, shift to, all my needs are met in perfect ways. If your mind says, this is impossible, answer with, everything unfolds for my highest good. By blessing your thoughts in this way, you change the silent decrees you are sending into the universe. Your thoughts form the atmosphere around you. They determine how you interpret events, how you respond to challenges, and what you expect from life. A mind filled with thoughts of plenty walks through the same world as a mind filled with thoughts of scarcity, yet their experiences will be vastly different. One will see opportunities at every turn, the other will see closed doors. The difference is not in the world itself, but in the silent decrees each mind is issuing. The universe responds most strongly to thoughts charged with feeling. A fleeting thought carries little power unless it is wrapped in emotion. This is why fear-based thinking can manifest so quickly. The emotion behind it fuels the decree. But this same principle works for your good. A thought of gratitude, joy, or confidence carries a high vibration that speeds its manifestation. When you bless your thoughts with positive emotion, you send out signals that call forth matching experiences. Make it a daily practice to become aware of the mental seeds you are planting. Begin and end your day with intentional thoughts of abundance, health, love, and peace. As you wake, affirm in your mind, today is filled with blessings, and I receive them with joy. As you close your eyes at night, think, I rest in the perfect flow of supply, and all is well. These repeated silent decrees shape your reality more powerfully than scattered, unfocused thinking. Guard your mental garden as carefully as a farmer guards his crops. Just as he would not allow weeds to overtake his field, do not allow destructive thoughts to overtake your mind. When you notice a thought that contradicts the life you desire, bless it by releasing it. Let it drift away and replace it with a thought that supports your vision. Your outer life is a mirror of your inner life. Change the silent decrees within, and the reflection must change. When your thoughts are consistently blessed with faith, gratitude, and expectancy, the universe has no choice but to return that blessing to you in tangible form. Think the thoughts you wish to see materialize and hold them with such certainty that they become your reality in advance. Let go of how and when the supply will come. The law of supply is exact and unfailing, but it does not work according to human timetables or limited reasoning. When you decide how and when your abundance must appear, you place restrictions on the infinite. You try to guide the river instead of trusting its natural course. True prosperity comes when you release the need to control the path and trust the certainty of the outcome. The moment you ask in faith, the supply is set in motion. It is already on its way through channels you may not yet see. But if you begin to watch one channel too closely, expecting the answer to come only through that door, you may miss the many other doors swinging open. The universe has countless ways to bring your good to you, and often the way it chooses is far better and faster than anything you could design. Worry about the how is a signal of doubt. It says, "I am not sure this will happen unless I manage it myself." But faith says, "It is already done, and I trust the perfect unfolding." When you let go of the details, you free the law to work without resistance. You step out of the way so the greater intelligence that governs all life can arrange the people, events, and timing in perfect order. Impatience about when is another form of fear. It assumes that delay means denial. But in truth, timing is part of the perfection of manifestation. Sometimes a short delay allows the circumstances to align more completely, ensuring that when the supply arrives, it meets not just the need, but the greater good. The seed planted in the ground grows according to its season. No amount of watching will make it sprout before its appointed time. Letting go does not mean becoming passive. It means acting in faith without anxiety, taking inspired steps when they arise, and refusing to measure progress by what you can see at this moment. Your role is to hold the vision, speak the words of abundance, and remain open to receive. The law's role is to arrange the how and the when. This release is an act of surrender to a wisdom higher than your own. It is the difference between rowing against the current and letting the current carry you. Many people exhaust themselves trying to force the outcome, only to discover that the moment they stop struggling, the very thing they wanted flows to them effortlessly. One way to practice letting go is to affirm daily, "I release the how and the when. My supply comes in perfect ways at the perfect time." This statement frees your mind from the strain of figuring everything out and replaces it with the peace of knowing it is already taken care of. Trust is the bridge between your desire and its manifestation. Every time you let go of the need to control, you strengthen that bridge. Every time you release the details, you give the universe permission to surprise you. And often, the supply comes not only faster than expected, but in a form so perfect you realize why your original plan was too small. Live each day with the quiet confidence that what you have asked for is already on its way. Stop scanning the horizon for a single ship and instead trust that the ocean is full of them. The how and the when are not your concern. The certainty of the supply is. Do not count the coins. Count the blessings. When your focus is fixed on counting coins, you are measuring your wealth by numbers alone. This narrow view blinds you to the greater flow of abundance that surrounds you. True prosperity is not confined to the amount of money in your hand. It is reflected in the richness of life itself, in health, opportunities, relationships, ideas, and the countless unseen forces working for your good. Counting coins keeps your attention on limitation. You see only what is present in the smallest form, and by giving all your attention to it, you unconsciously affirm that this is all there is. But counting blessings expands your awareness. It reminds you of the abundance already in motion, much of which is preparing to manifest in ways you cannot yet see. Every blessing you acknowledge grows. When you give thanks for what you already have, you place yourself in harmony with the law of increase. You may have only a small amount in your account today, but when you focus on the blessings surrounding that amount, the roof over your head, the food on your table, the skills you possess, the ideas flowing to you, you activate a vibration of abundance that draws more to you. Blessings often come in forms that are not immediately measurable. A new idea may open the door to income you had not considered. A chance meeting could lead to a profitable opportunity. A kind word or encouragement from another can lift your spirit and give you the energy to take the next step. These are all forms of wealth, and when you recognize them as such, you become a magnet for more. The habit of counting coins can also breed anxiety. You may find yourself watching every transaction, fearing that each expense depletes you. But when you count blessings, you see that every exchange carries with it something of value, a service received, a comfort enjoyed, a need met. This recognition changes your perspective from loss to gain, even in the act of spending. Make it your practice to start and end each day by naming your blessings. List them silently or aloud, not only the big things, but the small and often overlooked gifts. A warm conversation, a moment of peace, a helpful piece of information, the beauty of nature around you. Each acknowledgement adds to the momentum of your good. When you focus on blessings, you train your mind to see abundance everywhere. What you notice grows. You begin to see that even challenges contain hidden blessings, lessons learned, strength gained, new paths revealed. By blessing these moments, you shift their energy from resistance to cooperation with your growth. Money itself responds to the attitude you hold toward it. When you view it with gratitude and see it as part of a much larger flow of blessings, it tends to increase. When you view it with fear or cling to it too tightly, it resists multiplying. The more you recognize the wealth you already have, the easier it is for the law of supply to add more to it. Stop measuring your prosperity only in coins. See the abundance in every corner of your life and speak gratitude for it. The coins will come, but they will come more quickly and more abundantly when you stop chasing them and start recognizing the blessings that are already in your hands, your heart, and your path. Release jealousy. Another's gain proves yours is on the way. Jealousy is a thief of peace and a blocker of blessings. When you resent another's gain, you are telling the universe that abundance is limited, that if they have it, you cannot. This belief closes the very channels through which your own good would flow. But when you release jealousy and see another's success as evidence of the law of abundance at work, you align yourself with that same flow and invite it into your life. The gain of another is not a subtraction from your own storehouse. The universe is not a pie with a limited number of slices. It is an ever-expanding banquet. One person's increase simply proves that increase is possible, and if it is possible for them, it is possible for you. When you bless the success of others, you declare your faith in the law that provides for all without exception. Jealousy stems from the belief that the timing or the opportunity for your good has passed you by. But the truth is, your supply is appointed to you in a way and at a time that is perfect for your path. Another's blessing is not your competition. It is a signpost that the vibration of abundance is active and available in your environment. If you can witness it in their life, you are close enough to experience it in your own. To release jealousy, transform it into celebration. When you hear of someone receiving the very thing you desire, say in your heart, "I bless your gain, for it proves mine is coming." This shifts your energy from resistance to receptivity. You cannot receive what you resent, but you can attract what you celebrate. By honoring the good in another's life, you prepare the way for similar good to manifest in yours. Blessing the gain of others also keeps your heart free of bitterness. Bitterness is a heavy vibration that pushes away opportunities. Gratitude for another's success, on the other hand, lightens your spirit and keeps you in a state of expectancy. The lighter your energy, the easier it is for blessings to reach you. Sometimes jealousy hides behind self-comparison. You may look at another's achievement and feel that you are behind, but you are not behind. You are on your own path, in your own timing. The moment you stop measuring yourself against others and start trusting your unique process, you will see that there is no race and no scarcity of good. Your thoughts and feelings toward others send out a vibration that touches your own experience. When you silently bless another's prosperity, you are sending out the same frequency you wish to receive. The universe responds in kind, matching your blessing with blessings of your own. This is why it is impossible to consistently wish well for others without eventually walking into well-being yourself. Make it a habit to see every success around you as a reminder that the law of increase is active. If someone receives an opportunity, say, "Wonderful, the energy of opportunity is moving in my world too." If someone gains wealth, say, "Beautiful, the law of supply is working and it works for me as well." The more you practice this, the more natural it will feel, and the quicker you will see evidence of it in your own life. Jealousy binds the flow of your good, blessing frees it. Another's gain is not the end of your chance, but the proof that the door is open. When you release resentment and replace it with joyful expectation, you step into the same current of abundance, ready to receive what has always been yours. Money is a servant, never a master. Money was created to serve, not to rule. It is a tool, a channel through which comfort, provision, and good can flow. The moment you allow it to become your master, you hand over your peace, freedom, and sense of self to an object that cannot think, love, or guide. Money has no will of its own. It follows the direction of the one who commands it. When you remember that you are the commander, you keep your rightful place above it. A servant obeys the one it serves. If you tell money to circulate, to bless, to provide, it will do so. If you allow fear to guide it, it will hide and stagnate. As a servant, money reflects your consciousness. If your thoughts are rooted in abundance, it will appear to serve you abundantly. If your thoughts are rooted in lack, it will appear scarce. When money becomes a master, it begins to dictate your choices. You find yourself making decisions based solely on gain or loss, rather than on wisdom, purpose, or love. You may compromise your peace or your values for the sake of holding on to it. This is a reversal of the natural order, for you were never meant to be led by the tool. The tool was meant to be guided by you. Keeping money in the place of a servant means using it to fulfill higher purposes. You spend and invest in ways that create good, that uplift others, that support the vision you hold for your life. You are not driven by the need to hoard it or by the fear of losing it. You know that as long as you remain connected to the infinite source of supply, more will always come as needed. A wise master directs money with intention. Every dollar you hold has an assignment: to meet needs, to create beauty, to open doors, to express gratitude, to expand possibility. When you give money purpose, it flows willingly and returns multiplied. When you treat it without purpose, it drifts and often slips away. Fear of not having enough often comes from forgetting that money is only one channel of provision, not the source itself. If you confuse the channel with the source, you begin to serve the channel, clinging to it as if it were the only way your needs could be met. But when you recognize that the source of all supply is infinite, you hold money loosely, knowing it is simply one of many servants available to you. You are the master when you can let money go without fear, trusting that it will return in the right form and at the right time. Masters do not panic when a servant leaves the room. They know they can call upon them again. In the same way, you can send money out into the world with a clear purpose and the certainty that it will fulfill its mission and return. Do not give money the power to determine your worth or dictate your joy. These belong to you by divine right, regardless of the balance in your account. When money is in its proper place, you are free, free to make choices based on values, vision, and inspiration, rather than on anxiety or greed. Money is a faithful servant to those who treat it as such. Use it wisely, direct it with purpose, and never bow to it as a master. In keeping this order, you remain in authority over your financial life, and money will always respond to your command. Prosperity is not chased, it is magnetized. The nature of true prosperity is that it comes to you, drawn by the energy you carry, not by frantic pursuit. Chasing implies lack, a belief that the good you seek is distant and must be caught. But when you understand the law of attraction in its highest form, you see that your role is not to run after prosperity, but to become the kind of person to whom prosperity flows naturally. A magnet does not strain to pull objects toward itself, it simply holds its nature, and the attraction happens effortlessly. In the same way, prosperity is attracted to the one who holds an inner state of abundance, gratitude, and expectancy. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions are aligned with the vibration of wealth, you draw wealth toward you without force. Chasing often leads to exhaustion because it is rooted in the fear of not having enough. This fear drives people to overwork, to make decisions out of desperation, or to grasp at opportunities without discernment. Yet fear and lack cannot create lasting abundance. They only produce more of themselves. Magnetizing prosperity comes from a different energy, one of trust, alignment, and calm certainty. To magnetize prosperity, you must first believe you are worthy of it. Worthiness is a powerful signal. If you secretly feel unworthy, you will unconsciously push opportunities away or sabotage them when they arrive. But when you know, without doubt, that abundance is your natural state, you create a powerful invitation for it to appear. Magnetizing also requires clarity. You cannot attract what you are unclear about. Define for yourself what prosperity means, not just in money, but in lifestyle, relationships, freedom, and joy. The clearer your vision, the easier it is for the law to match it. Hold that vision in your mind and see it as a present reality. This mental alignment draws the matching conditions toward you. Your emotional state is part of your magnetic field. Gratitude, joy, and peace are high-frequency emotions that call prosperity closer. Complaints, worry, and resentment weaken the magnet. This is why daily gratitude is such a powerful practice. It strengthens your magnetic pull. Each time you bless what you already have, you increase your capacity to receive more. Magnetizing does not mean inaction. It means taking inspired action from a place of alignment, not from fear or urgency. When you act from inspiration, your steps are guided, your timing is right, and the results are multiplied. You may take fewer actions, but each one is far more effective because it is in harmony with the flow of supply. It is important to release the belief that prosperity comes only through hard struggle. While discipline and effort have their place, the deepest truth is that prosperity responds more to your energy than to your exertion. Many people work tirelessly and yet remain in lack because their inner state is one of worry and scarcity. Others, with less outward effort, attract great abundance because they hold an inner atmosphere of ease and certainty. Be like the sun, which does not chase the earth to give it light. It stands in its place, shining fully, and the earth moves into its orbit. Your prosperity comes when you stand in the fullness of who you are, radiating the energy of abundance and allowing the right people, opportunities, and resources to orbit toward you. Prosperity is not caught by running after it. It is received by becoming the magnet for it. When your thoughts are rich, your emotions are grateful, your actions are inspired, and your vision is clear, prosperity cannot help but find you. Prosperity is not a mystery to be solved, nor a prize reserved for a chosen few. It is a living law, always in operation, responding to your words, your thoughts, your vision, and your faith. Every moment you choose gratitude over complaint, abundance over lack, and trust over fear, you align yourself with this law and open the way for increase. The principles you have learned are not meant to be ideas you visit once and set aside. They are living practices. Speak as if abundance is already yours. Release all resentment. Bless every seed you plant, and trust the infinite channels through which your supply may come. Hold your vision, keep your energy aligned, and let go of the need to control the details. Wealth in its truest form begins within. As you master your inner world, your words, your emotions, your beliefs, the outer world will reflect that mastery with precision. The same law that has worked for others will work for you, without exception, because it is no respecter of persons. When you live these truths, you stop chasing prosperity and start magnetizing it. You become a living demonstration of the abundance you once only imagined, and your life becomes an unending testimony to the power of alignment with divine supply.